Actually gonna get his LD because I'm doing an MMO saga. Mm. Ever, ever. One gold. Mm. Okay. Mm. Going for LD. I will. Going pretty bad so far. A lot of power stones though. Yeah, going pretty bad so far.
These will certainly get reworked later. Kuj is still good regardless. His call ability, regular one, is skill 2. No, excuse me, skill 1. It does damage and drops peril, AoE. And his LD call is his LD just does damage, but it's very good for co-ops. A lot of damage in a short span of time. Awesome. What do I think about
LD.
Well, Kuja got pretty much nothing except for the ability to use call. Feels bad. Can't wait to use that extra overflow and ultimate that never caps. Kuja burst plus waiting room, absolutely. Stola's in an interesting spot. I think she's very clunky on release, and I did not personally like using her JP. This was not an uncommon opinion on release either. Even the Final Fantasy 14s, like
Nice.
Alphino and Infighter. And please correct me if I'm misquoting you guys, but I know you guys weren't quite feeling her. You ran her and stuff, but they weren't quite feeling it until like when she felt smooth when she got burst plus. Keep in mind, I say all that she's plenty usable, but in my opinion, I think she's kind of mid. Her basic Brave Plus sucks, and her burst effect is just okay compared to others. However, she does have that loaded burst plus and LD board rework down the line that pretty much solves her issues. If you get her burst now, you're going to get the double dip later, and in that regard, she's potentially a safe token choice. I might token her personally because I might gem pity Garland and I might gem pity Bartz. Those are also good pickups as well. So yeah, just keep your eyes open or your mind open, I should say, for Tola's burst. Am I pulling? Yes, I always go for the 2 week synergy. I'm not burst chasing, but always nice to have. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I pull one. For LD will be sufficient for challenge quests, and as always, I'll hedge myself if I manage to pull the burst. I'm not getting her high armor because it's largely pointless. She's not going to be hitting cap, and I don't see myself using her much outside of synergy. So it is what it is. But overall, Stola's solid. Not a big fan. I think she's pretty skippable now. But just consider that when she does come back later, she is with Renoa's LD. And her burst is on the banner, and I forget the third, but if it's just an EX plus unit, who cares anyways? But Renoa LD is on the other banner, and then split between Zidane LD and burst on the other banner, and Beatrix LD also getting LD boards at that point as well. So just keep that in mind if you're thinking skip for later. It might not be the best choice. Or maybe it is, who knows? The fight is an interesting one. It's the return of the Deuce Crack. No immunity, so go crazy. Whip back out the Paladin Cecils. You can use them now. The orb is to heal by 50% of your HP plus 5 per party member. So an AoE heal is plus 15. It's not that big of a deal of an orb if you got consistent heals. Thankfully, there's no magic only this time. Melee counters are gone, and any other garbage. But they have some different goodies now. They get a ton of Brave after their AoE HPs. You either gotta cut them down or easy attack and heal after. Really nasty parts when they drop below. I think it's 80% and 50. They cleanse and heal up immediately. During their turn, they're immune to break away. Cannon Boil was coming next. The next attack is a nuke. They do a big Brave gain into hard-hitting attacks. They ignore HP damage reduction. This can be dodged. This can be waited out or tanked by last stand. And the restrictions released after they do this attack. They target whoever has the most HP, and they swap if it changes. Now listen, because this is a bit hard to explain. You have to see it in practice, really. Say A and B have consecutive turns, right? And they're both targeting Celis, who has the highest HP. A blows Celis up, and her health is at 1, and B's turn is immediately after. B will retarget without having taken an action the next highest HP member. So say the next highest HP party member is Stola, and Stola is going to get attacked as well. So double last stand or dodge and get through this. Just make sure your HP passes are allocated correctly. If Gladio's covering everyone and the bosses get back-to-back turns A and B, Gladio will just die because they ignore HP damage reduction. So they'll set Gladio to 1 and it'll target someone else, but Gladio will also cover them. And then they'll punch Gladio and kill him. So just think about how it's all set up. It's possible to get through with him, obviously, but there's some different strategies you can do. It might be possible to revive through it and live as well, but I don't know about that for a fact. Who am I running? JP, I ran Celis, Aerith, and Paladin Cecil, and just ate the attacks with Celis and Aerith, and we just coasted through. In global, I want to run Aerith again because I love using her. So probably her with Ishtola and a third. Probably Squall, Ishtola, Squall, Aerith. Yeah, that sounds good. Maybe I'll get spicy and run Gallop just to dodge the attacks. I don't know. Bunch of options for this fight. Hope you guys enjoy. Sarah's LD. Man, if I was petty, I'd play the sad tuba womp 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 in the background right now, or Curb Your Enthusiasm theme. Man, it's gonna try not to be too sarcastic here. Sarah, she is not getting a rework. This is all assumptions, assuming they don't change anything in global, which I don't see why they would. But it'd be nice, but I'm not optimistic at all. Her LD, it's a party battery. It's a split AoE, Brave plus HP, just one attack. It applies her EX debuff, which she did not have trouble maintaining. Sarcasm. Stop. Frame defense down 20% and poison. She gets a new buff. It's a party Embrave regen.
Good.
Cool, I guess, in the era of Brave reduction, Brave game reduction. Additional Embrave regen for Sarah, based on her Embrave, which is horrible. And she gets gained overpull up by 20%. She gets attacked from her limit break. She gets debuff start from her, with her new EX debuff whenever she comes in battle. So that's cool, I guess. Her call ability is skill 1, and it inflicts 50% Embrave down and poison. Party battery, exciting.
Like the LD more.
Debuff start if you match your LD out. So
It looks small and more threatening.
the LD call plus the EX debuff. Call gets a whopping 10% Embrave regen. Cool. Her high armor is Brave Gain armor, which will definitely be impactful for her, especially down the road when it gets reworked. Anyways, what do I think? If it's not fairly obvious, she's a mess. You're only pulling for favoritism if you really pull her, or just masochism. I don't know. She's a mess. They didn't fix anything. They didn't fix any of her problems, nor did they really add anything new or impactful to her. Even her LD call isn't good. I like Sarah, but I don't know what they were smoking here. Hats off to anyone committed to running her. You're doing God's work. Show us how valuable she is. Show us how viable she is. I'll enjoy watching your videos, but I won't be pulling myself. She might get a burst later down the road and get a full makeover, but for now, she's in the dirt. I'd rather pull on that banner where she gets upgraded than this one. If you need a sap character, Trey is the literal next banner. He's actually really good. They do tweak her release in global. I'm pleasantly surprised. I wouldn't bank on it. Am I pulling? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If they build her, I'll build her if I get the LD on the. Is there a free pull? I actually don't even know that. If there's a free pull, if I free pull her LD, I'll build her. Otherwise, this banner could just go down. If they adjust her, I'll be jumping on the train and giving my analysis like I always do with shakeups, and I'll probably pull at that point too. So stay tuned for that. She's not. There's no fight coming with it. Probably. Unless they throw a Sarah-specific Abyss along with some other Sarah-related things, but I'm really not optimistic at all. There's nothing attached to her, but she is boosted on his Tolas fight and Trey's Lost Chapter, so she can be helpful.